We jump into the next litter of Berkshires here. This is Lot 7 that Levi's got on the stick here, 2-1, and Lot 8, 2-6 is the male pig in here. These are off the chain, Sparky, shut your mouth. Sparky would be a hog that we raised here and used a little bit. So basically on the shut your mouth side, these would share the same maternal grandam as the old Coldwater sow that would be probably made the champion gilt in 22 there, and then would be the grandam of the gilt in 23 and also the grandam of the gilt in 24 this year. So a little bit of a different pedigree on the bottom side and the top side, but this sow's done a good job, and we wanted to definitely offer these. We do have just a touch bit of red, and we're just going to be very transparent about that. That sow does throw a little bit of red from time to time, but seems like it always fades out by the time they get into their hundreds or their teenage years, if you will. So Lot 7, 2-1, Lot 8, 2-6, a male and a female. Off the chain, Sparky, shut your mouth.
Well, I'd say to start with the 2-1 gilt here and just to talk to pair, I'd say very, very similar. You can tell they're mates. Probably about ideal in terms of their maturity pattern, in my opinion. Square made hogs that are tall at the point of their shoulder and sharp out in front of their blade. I mean, their muscle pattern, it just kind of reads ideal. I kind of like this black-legged gilt just because I like those off-marked ones, especially when their legs are black like that. It kind of sets them off, in my opinion. And just a gilt that looks like she's going to get better every day of her life. I mean, in terms of she's always going to be on the uptrend. I mean, I think all the basics are there. She just needs to fill out everything as she grows, and just looks like one that could turn into a very, very good show pig. Now, the Barra, I got high on -6 in the last litter, and I would tell you that this -6 here might even rival him, not in terms of bone, but, man, that thing's build is freaking incredible, in my opinion, in terms of just his gear and his angles and motivation off of both ends of his skeleton. And I'd call his muscle pattern ideal. He's not as bloomy as the last male hog we talked or the last pair of male hogs we talked. But, I mean, you study the pin set in that hog and his squareness from the top side of his hip to where his foot strikes the ground, both, behind and up front from that standpoint. I mean, he just looks like a pig that just needs pig feed to turn into something pretty special, in my opinion.
Yeah, we'll start with the Barrow, the -6. I was pretty high on the last 6 too, but boy, this one, when he gets him on the stick and his proportions are perfect. I'd say his length of body is perfect. We talked about them Barrows in the last litter just being so square and true, and he gets him on the pipe there, gets his head up. Boy, his chest is big. These pigs do have more look, I would say, than the one litter. They're a little flashier, a little taller shoulder, a little trendier if that's what you're into. Don't miss that 6 Barra in this particular litter because, boy, I think his feedability and his forerib and body shape is just perfect. Like you said, he doesn't have as much muscle as the one litter, but a lot of people can feed that into him. And genetically speaking, I'm sure Bryce knows how them feed too, and there's not going to be lack of muscle there. The black-legged, white-footed gilt, extra tall-fronted and just great-looking. Square, and her lines and her proportions are extremely good. I think a very, very good pair out of a different litter, a little different in types and kind. Take them how you like them. That's how I see them.
Yep.
Yeah, and I would echo those, kind of what Brant said, just on the feedability side. I mean, they say they're on the backside. They share the same grandam as that Coldwater sow. So still lots of confidence in these, maybe just a little bit different there on the bottom side, but still got that same blood and that same pedigree in them that we've had so much success with and just been blessed to get along at those big shows and grab big banners. So like this pair quite a bit, different in their type and kind, but built for speed and have comfort.